Can the loudest, most controversial figure in the U.S. Congress resign from her post not because of defeat, but right after a major victory? That is exactly what Marjorie Taylor Greene has done. Amid her sweeping win over the current Republican establishment on a highly sensitive file, she abruptly announced her departure, using a shocking analogy that no one will forget. "I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better." This statement was not just a resignation, it was a devastating admission of absolute dominance. How did Donald Trump get rid of his most powerful internal challenger? And what does this mean for his complete control over the Republican Party? The answer holds a terrifying analysis of the current political reality. For a few weeks, Marjorie Taylor Greene was at the peak of her political power. Once one of Trump's staunchest loyalists, she transformed into a fierce internal rival. Her criticisms were not whispers, they were public battles. Most notably, her demand for the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, a demand Trump was ultimately forced to concede to. This victory, which openly chipped away at Trump's authority on a sensitive issue, could have formed the solid core of a genuine Republican resistance against his dominance. Greene could have become the new leader who dared to challenge the MAGA establishment from within. This was the moment when Republicans were supposed to demonstrate the courage to reassert congressional autonomy. But history wrote a different ending. Trump's reaction was unsurprising to anyone observing his style. In the dictionary of Trumpian politics, absolute loyalty is the only law. After branding Greene a dissenter and wacky, Trump withdrew his endorsement and vowed to support any primary challenger against her in the 2026 midterms. These tactics, described by analysts as employing the fear and intimidation of a mob boss, are not new. It's the same strategy he used to force out prominent Republican opponents like Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and others. Trump has presided over the homogenization of the Republican Party. You were either loyal to him or you were out. In Trump's view, Greene's resignation was not a loss, but great news for the country, as he stated, confirming his victory by ignoring her challenge attempt. He proved once again that even in his darkest political moments, facing falling approval and limited rebellion in his party, he can still force an opponent into submission. But why did Greene surrender? Why didn't she fight a primary race that many believed she could win in her safe Republican district? The answer was contained in her dramatic resignation statement. She spoke of self-respect, dignity, and love for her family, stating she did not want to endure a hurtful and hateful primary orchestrated by Trump against her. She also indicated that Trump's public insults had already triggered a barrage of threats, including swatting, false emergency calls, and death threats. Her use of the battered wife analogy was powerful and resonant, as it encapsulates the current political climate within the GOP. It is a climate defined by intimidation, verbal violence, and threats, where the price of disagreeing with Trump could cost you your career or your personal safety. Greene chose to exit rather than become a perpetual target of attacks from a former president she would later be expected to defend against accountability.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation is more than just passing political news. It signals that Trump's grip on the Republican Party has not weakened, it has tightened. Trump has proven once again that there is no place for internal opposition, even from those who embrace the MAGA banner as she does. Greene chose political and personal survival, leaving behind a more homogeneous Republican Party that lacks strong independent voices and remains at the mercy of one leader. The question now is this truly the end? Or is Marjorie Taylor Greene looking ahead to 2028, where she could potentially return as the new MAGA leader, once the Trump era has passed? Some analysts suggest this could be a smart tactic to transform her from yesterday's crazy to tomorrow's normal leader. Until then, we can state with certainty, the mob boss has won and the last dissenter has exited the halls of Congress. Share your opinions in the comments. Can anyone successfully lead a resistance against Trump from within the Republican Party?